Hey Reddit.
What screams pretending to be upper class?
Like and subscribe and we'll make more videos. And share your story in the comments.
Talking about how expensive everything you have is and how much money you have. I've found that truly wealthy people don't feel compelled to talk about it constantly.
A friend of mine said that a woman she had to deal with would spend $20 on something worth $10. And then tell her she spent $30 on it.
Probably because they actually understand that money isn't a personality trait.
I work at an exotic car rental branch. I have plenty of customers that rent our cars and ask us to take the ID tags off the key ring, understandable. Then I have some that insist they get the same license plate each time and will flip out if I give them the same model as usual but with the plate one digit off. They're trying to make the appearance to whoever that they own the car and get themselves in a trap where they have to keep renting to keep up the illusion. That charade never lasts long.
Who on earth memorizes the plates on an acquaintance's car? No one gives a shiz.
This is cringe.
Putting entrepreneur on any social media platform bio.
When I see this I always think to myself, so you're unemployed?
Always an MLM.
Constantly altering your pink Chanel suit to fit in at a country club.
For once, maybe someone will call me sir without adding "you're making a scene."
I thought changing suits had gone out of fashion. Marge.
McMansions without curtains or furniture in the upstairs.
Curtains are fucking expensive, bro.
LMAO, my parents put shower curtains up in their house.
Throwing parties every week. And calling everyone old sport.
All for that girl that lives right across from you.
Also fearing you haven't been a good host.
Talking about possessions. Slipping dollar amounts into conversations. Act like you've been there before.
So you're saying I shouldn't brag about my favorite $7 boots that I bought at a thrift store?
Knew a guy that once worked as a waiter at the restaurant at a high-end country club. He said it was pretty obvious who was new money and who was old money. New money people always made a point of getting the most expensive dinner on the menu. And the fanciest wine, and so on. Because they had imposter syndrome from hell and felt like they had to act the part in order to prove that they deserved to be there. Old money would order a cheeseburger and a Coke because that's what they were in the mood for.
Getting married in a big fat wedding by taking out loans. Borrowing from friends. Plus, getting super expensive rings when you can't afford 1/10 of it.
It's time for that comment again.
$5. Oh, purse with no money in it.
$2,000 bag with no cash in your purse, Kanye.
Pronouncing your name, bouquet. Obligatory.
The bouquet residence. The lady of the house speaking.
Spelled B-U-C-K-E-T, haha.
My uncle and his wife are perfect examples. They bought a brand new Mercedes that they can't afford. Live in a house that's too big for them. Bought a caravan in a park where the ground rental is nearly $50,000 a year. They bought their kids expensive ass bikes that were never used, and what did they use to pay for all this? If you guessed credit cards, then you are correct. Credit cards and loans from my grandmother which they will never pay back. Then they make fun of my mother and I for being working class. Might as well spit on my grandfather's grave since he was working class through and through.
Yeah, financing a lifestyle is insane. Going into debt for luxury items is the craziest thing people do.
I used to be concerned about how I looked dressed when going to a high-end retailer. Now I simply don't care. If they won't serve me when wearing jeans, then I'll just go somewhere else.
You all work on commission, right? Big mistake. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
Shopping in the curtains aisle of Walmart and openly declaring to me, an employee trying to zone, that we have no taste.
I wish employees were allowed to sass back at stuff like that.
Ma'am, this is a Walmart.
Struggling to scrape together the minimum payments on a luxury car.
Jeff Lowe.
Talking down to working class people. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely snooty asshole upper class people, however in my interactions with them as a working class person in services they've always been extremely nice. My guess is because we both know who we are in society, so there are no pretensions. Fake upper class people have to completely reinforce the class divide. It had to be absolutely clear that they are and always have been above you. Part of me thinks it's resentment at what they might have used to have been, and the other part thinks it's how they think other upper class people behave.
One thing I also noticed. Working in construction around wealthier people. The rich man is the nicest person you'll ever meet. He'll offer you a nice break time. And talk like one of the guys. The rich man's spouse is a bitch. Don't even look at them. The rich woman is the friendliest person ever. She will thank you for everything and talk about how she would never be able to do that. The rich woman's spouse is annoying, obnoxious, and snobby. There are, of course, exceptions, but this is what I experienced in my time.
It's kind of like grade school popularity. The most popular, high-status kids are kinda untouchable and also never feel much need to tear anyone else down to make themselves feel better. The people close to the top but not quite there is where the real assholes are. They feel defensive about their status and also need to reinforce it to themselves. If they can go shiz on someone and get away with it, it makes them feel good. Little do they know with retail workers. They're also unfailingly polite to insane drug addicts. So it's pretty pointless to power trip with them. Because you have more in common with a low-class scumbag than you do a rich person who can get away with anything.